Alrighty, welcome back. Hopefully you got that receipts journal all taken care of for homework 2. We are going to move on now, and we are going to work on the adjusted trial balance. And so the adjusted trial balance is really Excel-wise, as far as equations go, not that difficult. No complex equations really, but it can be frustrating at times because you need to get everything to balance. And so if things don't balance, as you know, we have a lot of equations in the sales, purchase, payments, receipts, and inventory page. And so if your adjusted trial balance is not balancing, it can be due to a simple equation error or not linking things properly or not having the correct sum equations or anything really can cause a problem. And so it can be at times difficult to find, but we are going to link everything up the right way and show you how to do it properly, and then we're going to go through and kind of pretend that we have some errors and show you how to troubleshoot that and figure that out. So the adjust trial balance is going to update the cash account, AR, inventory, AP, sales, and cost of goods sold. We have bolded those accounts so you know which ones are going to be updated on the adjusted trial balance. And it should balance. And so we have a flag here. The flag is just the same as we had on our beginning trial balance. So it's no different. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our book and we are going to go to the adjusted trial balance. So what we need to do first is we need to select or highlight our beginning trial balance. Just highlight the entire thing and you can copy that and then go to the adjusted trial balance or ATB. And then somewhere a few rows down and a few rows over, you just want to copy and paste that over there. You don't have to do anything fancy with pasting values. You just get the paste and that should be working out just fine. You want to make sure that you spread everything out so that you have room to see everything. Okay, and so this should balance, and right now you just see numbers here. We need all these numbers, all these cells to equal the beginning trial balance. Not that we're going to have any changes to the beginning trial balance, but it's a good habit to get to have these numbers come from a different page, just so you can get the feel for the flow from page to page. So we're going to make the cash cell equal the beginning account for cash, and we will click enter. And so now when I select cash, I have equals BTB E7. E7 is just the monetary cell for cash, and I can drag that down to equipment, and then I can just simply copy the equipment cell, go down to land. I can move up and over to accumulated depreciation, paste the formula there, paste the formula in AP, and so drag that down. So I can't just simply drag it all the way down. If I do that, then I'm going to have these dollar signs and blanks, and I don't want that. So you want to make sure that um, that you have copied the cell and then pasted basically the formula down here. And since the formula is not referenced in any way, it'll move corresponding to the information you have in the beginning trial balance. So, okay, we're going to bold the accounts that we need to update. So we're going to bold our cash, our AR, our inventory, our accounts payable, and then our sales and cost of goods sold. So 6 accounts that we're going to update. And so pretty simple. We're just going to have our beginning balance of cash. We're going to add to it the cash that we get from our receipts. Remember we said that this amount received is going to increase our cash inflow, or increase our cash. It is a cash inflow. And then we're going to subtract from our cash. We're going to subtract the amount paid on our payment stream. Remember we said that this cell, the amount paid, is going to be a cash outflow. So that will reduce our cash. So we have our beginning cash plus the inflow from receipts minus the outflow here from payments. We can click enter and cash should be different. We're going to have our AR and we're just going to simply add to it the rest of our soon to be cash, hopefully, from our customers. So this amount outstanding. This is what we have not received from our customers. This is our outstanding balance of AR due to our sales and our sales invoice. So we just have our beginning balance and we're going to add to it the amount outstanding. our inventory, we are going to simply just make this page actually equal our inventory page. We're not going to have any beginning balance to it. And the reason for that is, if you remember, when we go to our sales and purchase journal, we can zero out the quantity in our sales and purchase journal, and then our inventory will go to 6466. And so our inventory page, if you look at it, it already has our beginning balance in there. It's already being accounted for. And so if we added 6466 to this number, we would basically be double counting our inventory. And so we don't want to do that. So we're just going to basically make this inventory cell here equal the book value of our inventory from our inventory page. And then accounts payable, we're going to add to it the amount that we have not paid to our vendors or our suppliers. So the amount outstanding, this is what we're supposed to pay to our vendors. This is how much we did pay. This was our outflow for cash. The balance that's remaining, the amount outstanding, this is what we still have to pay. And so we're going to select that sum cell and click enter. And then sales and cost of goods sold. You need to make sure that you get the sales and cost of goods sold in the right account. Notice that we have a debit column and a credit column. So cash is an asset, and assets carry a debit balance, hence having numbers in the debit cell, whereas AP is a liability, and AP liabilities, they carry a credit balance, which is why we have the balance in the credit cell. So just make sure you keep that straight when you're doing this, or else it can really bugger things up as you go. So sales will be a credit because we would potentially debit cash and get cash from the sale, but we're not doing that. We are debiting AR on our sales journal, and then we are debiting cash and crediting AR on our receipts journal. So we are going to have our sales here, and this is just going to be the total price from our sales journal. Okay. And then we're going to have our cost of goods sold, which is going to be the total cost from our sales journal. So pretty handy. And then you go down and it should balance. Okay, so you want to make sure it balances. If it doesn't balance, there could be a number of issues. And so the best way to find those issues is to go to your sales journal, zero out all the quantities, go to your purchase journal and zero out all the quantities. And then you also want to have your payments journal. You want to zero out all the amount paid. And you want to go to your receipts journal. Let's drag that over next to sales and delete all the amount received. And so now, not only is our inventory going to be 6,466, but our adjusted trial balance should equal our beginning trial balance, as we haven't had any activities this year. So we have 488,248, and we can go down here and check, and we have 488,248. So our beginning and ending, or our beginning and adjusted trial balance are the exact same. And so now what we can do is we can go through step by step, and I can say, well, I'm going to sell this one product. I'm going to go to my adjusted trial balance and see if it still balances, and it does. Okay, so there's no problem so far. I'm going to go to my receipts now and pay some of it off. I can go back to my adjusted trial balance, and hey, it still balances. And then I might, get a little bit more liberal and fill in a couple transactions here, live life a little wild-like, and fill those out. Make sure it still balances. Now let's say I was thinking, okay, I'm going to fill in the rest of my sales journal. My sales journal seems to be working just fine, and my receipts journal seems to be working just fine. And the other thing is that I know my adjusted trial balance is still balancing, which means that my inventory page, as far as my sales are concerned, is working just fine. So whenever I sell anything, the changes are being reflected properly in my inventory page. But I can't say anything yet about purchases in inventory or purchases in payments. So we haven't touched those yet. So for all we know, those may not be working. So it's still balanced, it's still good. So now let's say I go to my purchase journal and I fill in a quantity, and then I go to my payments journal and say I put in an amount. And now let's pretend that this was out of balance. Okay, I come here and I did one entry in my purchase journal, payments journal, and now it's not balanced. And I think, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? How am I going to fix this? Well, go back, delete the amount paid, and then you want to go back to your adjusted, and let's say it's still not balanced. Let's say we still need some work here. And so I think, okay, man, what could it be? So I go to my purchase journal and I think, okay, well, let's take a look at it. Do I have my sums done right? Yeah, I'm summing up that entire area. Okay, that's good. Am I summing up everything here properly? I only have one transaction. I bought pants. I bought two of them. I got pants over here too. Okay, that's good. I got my sum down here. I can check that. It's working. Yeah, I got my two down there. Okay, that's good. And then I can, look at my inventory page, and I should first go to my sales journal, delete all the quantities, go to my inventory page, and so I sold two, two pants, and so my beginning balance was, or I purchased two pants. My beginning balance was 94 units. Now I have 96. Okay, my inventory should be updated and fine. It went up by 2 units, and that's being reflected. The next thing I can see is, okay, my book value, it was 6466. It's now greater than that, so that should be working okay. And I can again just check it and make sure. I can delete this quantity, go to my inventory page. Yep, it's still 6466. Okay, that's working fine. And then let's say I go to my inventory page and I say, okay, how much is this shoe costing me? Or these pants, how much is pants costing me? All right, unit cost $26. Okay, that's good. Go to my purchase journal, and let's say hypothetically that this said $22 instead of 26. I would know right there that's my problem, and that's why I'm not balancing. It's because the unit costs are not the same across the pages. And so, if I wanted to change those and make them consistent, I could say, okay, I'm looking at my pants. Let's say this is 22, and I'm thinking, okay, well, I just typed this. Maybe I should make it come from somewhere. So I'm going to make this cell, potentially equal my sales journal. And I could go to my sales journal over here and look at pants and go, yeah, okay, these do equal 26. Let's make them equal each other. And then hopefully you would fix everything else out. So the idea is that if it's not balanced, which it's not right now because we haven't deleted these amount received, if it's not balanced, the idea is just to basically erase all the history you've made this year, and then go through one by one. Do the sales journal transaction in the sales journal first. Go back, see if it still balances. If it does, then go to your receipts journal. Do one transaction, see if it still balances, and if it does, then fill in the rest of your sales and receipts journal. Make sure it still balances. If it does, then you know that there's no issue with your sales journal or receipts journal. Then you can go to your purchase journal, do the same thing, and hopefully once you make an entry or a change and your adjusted trial balance goes from being balanced to not balanced, then you know that the issue lies with that journal, that last journal or page that you touched. And so that's probably the best way to troubleshoot and find information. So the most common errors that we see are that people do not have their sum equations done properly, so they may not be including the title in their sums, either here in the inventory tracking for either sales or purchases, or they don't have the right sums here either on their sales journal for the sales and cost of goods sold. Okay? The other issue is that sometimes people forget to absolute reference this cell. Remember, we're always looking at the title here as we go down, and we're always looking at this title here as we go down, etc. And so make sure that you absolute reference that cell. That could also be an issue. And so you want to check all of them. You can just quickly scan through, and I can just see, yep, okay, they all equal R9. Okay, they all equal Q9. Looks like it's okay. So that's the best way to go through it and double check to see if you have any issues. All right, so that is our adjusted trial balance. You want to make sure that you give this a title as well, just like we have on our beginning trial balance. So something to the extent of this, except for it's going to say year ending instead of year beginning. And in my case, I would say 12/31/2010, or if you have a fiscal year, you would say 6-30/2010. So either way, up to you. Okay, so we are done with the just trial balance. We will come back and we will do the general journal in a little bit.